when TK Whitaker wrote his economic development plan in the late 1950s, Ireland was a very closed economy, relying on protectionism, and TK Whitaker's plan changed all that and led to a huge change in policy. Ireland opened up to foreign trade, began to become part of the global trading system, and opened up to foreign direct investment. The prohibitions on inward investment were lifted, and over the next few decades, the Irish economy grew very rapidly.
In many ways, he doesn't have an international comparator. There are very, very few people internationally who would have crossed the range of policy areas that he crossed. So, for example, he's possibly best known for his position as Secretary General of the Department of Finance when he was involved in the economic policy developments of the late 1950s and early 1960s. He went on to be the Governor of the Central Bank, so he had a very, very strong link to economic policy, but of course then he was also instrumental in northern policy and was there at the original meetings of Lemass and Terence O'Neill. So he played a very, very important role, not just in terms of economic policy, but also in terms, I suppose, of Irish foreign policy. There's not that many people internationally who would have operated in that way.
Well, in my role as chair of the Irish Fiscal Advisory Council, Dr. Whitaker really was an inspiration. His use of economics, economic theory, and data to underlie his policy advice, the way he was able to look into the future and see the problems that the economy was going to face and take remedial action, and his willingness to bring it to the attention of politicians.
In my third year of studying sociology in Trinity College, we were introduced to the Whitaker Report, the 1958 report, as being a seminal moment in Irish history. So it was as if Irish society was on a particular trajectory towards that point, and then everything changed. So we tended to see this person, as having had a really major public policy impact in Ireland. Now, I'm sure that Ken Whitaker was surrounded by lots of other civil servants and that it was a collective endeavour that they were engaged in, but it was etched in our minds as the programme for economic expansion. And I'm now head of a department of sociology at Maynooth University, and I know that in our first year course on contemporary Irish society, we try to understand society in terms of a modernisation approach, in terms of a dependency approach, and the Whitaker Report is still featuring, so that's all of 30-something years later. He's still crucial to sociologists in understanding the kind of socio-economic development of Ireland.
For Ireland to prosper, it has to be open to the rest of the world economically, and he was obviously extremely important in helping move us towards a more outward-focused industrial strategy.
The main lesson we can take from Whitaker's work is the man himself, that when you have senior policymakers, we forget he had a degree in economics from the London School of Economics, and to have people who are technically trained at the senior level of policy making and implementation, that's the lesson. We've failed to learn the same lesson. We continue to have policymakers who do what they do in an evidence-free environment. We've got to move back towards having decisions, policies, both at a political and administrative level, that are led by people who are properly trained in the subject.